it's something that I use to force myself to be more secure. Because when I take a video, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's not the best video.
Yeah.
But by posting it, I'm working on myself being less insecure.
Facts.
Because that is the unlock.
Welcome to the It's Not That Deep podcast. I'm your host, Deepak Sharma, and today I sit down with Hayden Cashion. He's an expert in all things digital marketing, branding, strategy, social media, all that. But we get into even deeper topics, such as overcoming your insecurities, embracing vulnerability, and being able to pivot and change direction in life. I hope you get some value out of this content. Enjoy. Hey man, how's it going?
I'm fantastic, bro. How are you?
Nice to have you on the podcast, dude.
I'm super excited.
Really appreciate you coming out here.
100%, man. Long time.
Yeah,
Long time.
yeah, man. We've been talking about doing this since I actually met you. It was really interesting seeing you on the other side of things, actually working with a friend of mine doing the advertisement. That was super interesting seeing like you being on the side of like the directing and knowing all the knowledge you had on, choosing the right medium, the right platform, everything. Tell me about that.
You know what's interesting is that you got to see me kind of not even in my element, right?
Yeah.
My element is, digital marketing, setting up campaigns, launching campaigns, tracking campaigns, optimizing campaigns, like in a computer, messing around with numbers. That's my element. What you actually saw was me being kind of a director to create content. And that's not something that comes very natural to me, but it's something that's extremely important for what I then do with the content. You know, I can run campaigns and do my best work, but if the content wasn't built up to par from the beginning, there's nothing I can do.
No, on that end of things, you can't really do anything.
That's it. And so I kind of figured as I started my business is like, I can't just rely on someone else to create content without me being there to have, the control over certain elements. So that's why I go on set and I make sure the content's on point, because it's a huge variable in the success of the campaign.
That's really interesting to me, man. So your like official title is like digital marketing strategist, right?
Yeah, consultant. I kind of do strategy, implementation, optimization, like
a little bit of everything.
That's it, because strategy is like the initial part, but then I actually implement it, and then based on the data, we re-strategize and optimize the process over time. Interesting,
man. Like, have you ever just like had a passion for this kind of thing, digital marketing and stuff like that? How'd you really like get into it?
Yeah, so I'm always the type of guy that I want to keep pushing the envelope until it feels right. So I was originally actually in economics at Carleton.
Okay.
That's where I started. And I only went into economics because I took it in high school and I somewhat enjoyed it. I've always been a math guy. I'm good at that stuff. But after 2 years of that at Carleton, I kind of realized it wasn't for me. It's a lot more dry and boring than, what you read in the news. You know, you're a lot more in the background running equations.
Yeah, and, a lot of theory.
It's a lot.
I remember those classes.
That's it, man. It was kind of dry. And I remember in high school, I'd also liked marketing. And as you know, I'd made music before, and I was kind of a creative in that sense.
For sure.
And so I decided to switch my path, and I applied for marketing at U Ottawa and at Carleton.
Yeah.
Got in at U Ottawa. I started doing it, I was enjoying it more than I was enjoying economics. So it was good. It was kind of a relief. I made the right decision there.
Yeah.
But once again, marketing is a huge discipline. There's so much stuff within it.
It's all encompassing, man. Marketing's pretty much everything. 100%. Isn't that what they say?
100%. And there's a million different jobs you can have within marketing. And so I still wanted to dive deeper and find what I was passionate about. And so I was always, trying new stuff, tasting new stuff until it just felt right intuitively. And I actually got an email by accident. This is how I fell into digital marketing. This is a funny story. It was for grad students, so students who'd already graduated. Okay. And I got an email, and I was currently in school. I hadn't graduated yet. And it was for a digital marketing certification. Okay. So I emailed them back, and I was like, hey, I'm not a grad student, but this sounds interesting, and I would like to try it if I can. Yeah. And they were like, this is the first time we're running the program, so apply. If there's space, we'll see about admitting you. Okay. That's how I got into digital marketing.
No way.
So I took this certification for 11 weeks. I think it was 211 hours total.
Nice.
And through that, I landed an internship within the digital marketing industry. that's kind of how I got the ball rolling. And
badass, man.
during this 11 weeks is where, you know, week after week, I was enjoying what I was learning. It was through the summer. It was 20 hours a week. And so, like, it's not something I had to do, you know, but every single week it was
you
like,
voluntarily like went and did that. And
I really wanted to find something that I was passionate about.
Right.
And I was just fortunate that I eventually tasted something that felt right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like the music. You were into the music for a while, you know, and then you kind of switched gears into this a bit more. What do you still have that musical outlet that you use with the marketing? Like,
I don't think so.
No,
I definitely am still in love with music.
Okay.
I don't want to be the artist anymore, but I'm still like on top of hip hop. I love hip hop music. I love the storytelling aspect of it. The cleverness in the lyrics is something that always speaks to me. I find there's two types of people in hip hop. Some people really like the beats, the production. They don't even hear the lyrics really. Other people are lyricists, and that's me. I'm not too crazy on the production side. I care about the lyrics, telling a story, making you feel something. You know what I mean?
Powerful, man.
And so that's what drew me to music ever since day one. Since I was like 9 years old and I bought an Eminem CD.
Nice.
Like, I've loved hip hop since I was a kid, and I think for the rest of my life I'll be a hip hop head. But you know, I kind of you know, tried it, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, but when I started falling in love with marketing, I didn't hold back.
Right. You just leaned into it. Like, this is it.
That's what I find, man. I find a lot of people, when they get good at something, even if their heart's no longer in it, they'll stick with it because it's their thing.
Right.
You see that a lot with athletes, like student athletes. You know, they'll get older and they'll still be playing the sport, even though their heart's not in it, but they're talented.
You hear that so much, and it's just like, well, I'm good at this thing. I don't really love it.
That's it, man.
I'm killing it in this, so why would I not? You know, but
exactly.
You don't know. Like, you could have been an astrophysicist. You could have done this. You could have. Yeah, there's so many different things, like so many different paths you could have gone down.
And I think like it's important to like look at people who are really good at something, but then actually take that risk and leave it, because it's way harder to leave something that you're good at for something you might be passionate about than if you don't have something already and you just go after something. So people that are good at something and then completely switch because of their heart, I respect that a lot.
That's crazy, man. So going back to like the university education for a second, you know, you started at Carleton, you went to Ottawa U, and you did this program. Would you say that your overall experience, like having gone to university, I mean, obviously you're saying that it did help you find something that you love, but if you could go back and do it all over again, would you have straight out of high school just gone all in on the marketing and the things that like you feel today that you enjoy, or do you still appreciate that you had to go through the economics, you had to go through finding out what you don't like to land where you're at today?
I think you need to take a step back and just look at the overall idea of tasting things.
Right.
School provided me an option to try a bunch of different things, you know, give it like, I don't know, 3-4 months, whatever a semester is, of tasting it, you know, 5 things at once, getting deep enough that you kind of get a feel for it.
Right.
So school provides you that opportunity if you take it serious and take advantage of it.
That's a big thing, right?
Well, it's just, it's like a one-stop shop to try a bunch of stuff, right? So I like that. But if you're someone who's ambitious and disciplined enough to go out on your own, you know, go to networking events, go try this, go try to hustle something, and you're not just sitting in your basement, then maybe school isn't for you.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a big believer in try stuff, give it a fair try, make a decision, move on.
Right. It's unfair almost to have 15, 16-year-olds have to make a decision that they think they're going to have to live the rest of their lives with. Yep. It's like, all right, well, I'm in grade 11. I guess I got to pick what courses I'm taking in grade 12.
Yeah.
That are prerequisites to go to uni, that are prerequisites in high school kids' eyes, a prerequisite for life.
100%.
But it's almost like we gotta go back and be like, all right, man, we gotta rebrand school almost, just as how you're saying it. It's not like this be all end all, like you're going to go to school, you're going to get this degree, then you're going to go get your master's and blah, 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 blah. And now that you've been a professional student for so long, you can stop learning. You've now hit success. This is it. Like, boom.
Yeah.
Now you're a doctor. Boom. You're done.
100%. Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, for young people out there who are all lost and just trying to figure out, like, yo, what should I do? Like, I hate school. I always hated school. Or even I love school. What school is, and almost separating that from like what getting an education is. You don't necessarily have to sit in the classroom to get that knowledge.
Not at all, man. And I believe that school, I don't think it will, I don't know enough to predict if it will actually die completely, but I think by the time we're parents and have kids that are going to make that decision after high school, I think there'll be other options that we as parents will be open to.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because when our parents were making that decision, the internet didn't exist.
That's true.
So it wasn't practical to do other things, right?
Right.
School made sense because it was somewhere that everyone could come to one specific place.
Yeah.
You know, and you had the leaders in whatever subject matter, so the profs, you had the books there because there wasn't internet.
Yeah.
You had all these tools, and it made sense to pull everyone to a single location, right?
Yep.
But now that the internet's here, that physical location isn't actually value.
No.
Because you can do it online.
Right.
It's now practical to not go to a physical location.
Right.
And universities the only leverage they still have is the profs.
Right.
Because they can brand them as experts in X, Y, and Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, these profs over time are going to be like, why are we giving portions of our money to the school, right? When we pay tuition, it gets split, right? Why don't we, as leaders in marketing, for example, all group together and start the marketing academy online?
Right.
We keep 100%. We don't have physical overhead.
Yeah, there's no overhead. You don't have to worry about all the bloated institution of it all.
That's it. So I think this is going to happen over time. So by the time we have kids, they're going to be like, yeah, I could go to Ottawa U, or I could go to XYZ Marketing Academy with the three, professional marketing people who are somewhat still in the industry too. A lot of these profs have been out of the industry for 10 years. Yeah. And in marketing these days, industry changes every 6 months. So that's just it. It's like it's now becoming practical to use the internet. And our generation is kind of going through the hiccup because we're still being influenced by our parents who didn't have the internet. Yeah. We're experiencing, hey, like, we're paying a lot of money and then not even getting a job. So by the time our kids come through, we're going to be more open-minded to alternatives.
For sure. Yeah. And that's not to say, like, I'm not shitting on school itself. That's absolutely not what we're saying here. It's just how it's set up, and now that there is the internet, there's so many other options. There's so many other opportunities. It's birthed jobs that we haven't imagined yet. Yeah. We don't even, like, because they're always talking about jobs. Like, oh my God, what kind of job are you going to get? Well, like, where are you going to work? What are you going to, like, where are you going to be a slave?
Well, yeah, it depends, bro.
No. Like,
it's what you're passionate about.
For sure, 100%. Yep. But, like, just thinking about that for a second, like, I'm not saying everyone should just drop out of school and go pursue something because the internet exists, but look at your options. There's MOOCs out there. There's so many different, like, open source courses you could take. Khan Academy pretty much put me through YouTube put me through university. Yeah. If I didn't have those, like, the internet to teach me things, like, dude, I barely ever read textbooks, man. Yeah. Textbooks are like garbage to me. It's like you said, the industry changes every 6 months. The textbook, they feel like needs to change every year, and like, it's just, it doesn't make sense. The way the whole thing's set up, it just does not make sense.
And it did make sense before the internet.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't, and that's where there's going to be turmoil and there's going to be change.
Right. And switching gears a bit, actually, let's talk for a second about social media and just these different platforms that we're using these days. Anyways, I find it really, really interesting how you leverage social media, because I follow you on Instagram at Hayden Cashion.
Yep.
Little plug there for my boy.
We'll put it below.
Yeah. I found it really interesting that you are constantly posting.
Oh yeah.
All day long. I'm on my way to see a client. Just got out of a meeting. Yep. Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Like sometimes it's really just that, like
100%.
a positive message straight from the heart.
100%.
It feels so genuine and it's like on point. How do you balance posting this often and, you know, not feeling like you're bothering your viewers, your followers?
Because I'm practical in two senses. One, people have the choice to watch me. If they don't want to watch me, they don't have to watch me.
Unfollow me.
So or just don't click on my story. Like I get it. Like if you don't want to hear me do this every single day, I'm not for everyone, right? And that I respect that. And then the second part is I know that only a fraction of my audience actually see every post.
True.
So even though it feels like I posted maybe 10 times in a day, maybe everybody only saw it once.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because every time you post a story, you pop back up to the top, but then you dwindle down. And then you pop back up, then you dwindle down.
That's
so
true.
if you keep catching me when I'm down,
Yeah.
you might not see it maybe until the fourth time I post, but then you catch up on the last three.
Right.
You know? And like I just said, like the first point is like you have the choice. So I don't feel annoying because like you don't have to click on me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. I actually enjoy it, your
100%.
content.
Yeah.
But if someone else feels that way, like, man, fuck this guy, man. Boy, I don't care that you're on your way to a meeting.
Yep.
Like, it's just that. Like, okay,
100%.
you don't care, so
That's
don't
it.
click on it. But
and I'll tell you the truth is doing these stories actually has shrunken my daily active like viewers, I would say.
okay,
But what it has done is although the overall numbers gotten smaller, the connection with that number is deeper.
and which is more important because
For me.
you'd rather actually connect with a few people who really do fuck with what you're doing.
Because I know what I'm up to and my success metric is how many people reach out to me and give me business. Right. And so I track that by how many DMs do I get. And that's something that people don't see, right? Mm-hmm. They might see, oh, you just post stories, but
Right.
I see on the back end how many opportunities I got.
Very true.
Literally while I was at Starbucks before I met you at Equator, I had someone DM me and say, hey, I have a client, I'm doing their content, and they were asking if I know someone who does Facebook ads. I thought of you right away.
Boom.
And that's all the stories. I've never even met this person in person.
That's insane.
He just follows my stories.
Yeah.
And he said that to me, and the first thing I said is, hey, I appreciate that. I would love to connect. Also, give me your number. I'm going to call you later. I want to get to know you. Build that relationship.
Powerful, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's all the networking they talk about in school that no one really wants to do.
There's nothing more valuable than humans.
Yeah.
Than the humans you know.
Facts.
Because you could know one human and they could be like, yeah, I'm going to give you $5,000 a month to do my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, like, that's life-changing for people like us, like, who are in the beginning. And that's just because you knew that human. If you didn't know that human, another person might have been like, I'll give you $800 a month. People are in different places in life. Like,
Exactly.
It's humans, man. It's
Yep.
humans.
And there was one thing that like really stuck with me when we met that day, and we were actually talking about this.
Yeah.
And you told me it's like, yeah, I post a lot, but I never really do takes.
No.
There's no. It's not like I think about really what I'm
Yeah.
I'm putting up. It's
Yeah.
I'm just speaking, and then I'm hitting this button.
I'll tell you something I didn't tell you too. It's something that I use to force myself to be more secure. Because when I take a video, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's not the best video.
Yeah.
But by posting it, I'm working on myself being less
Facts.
insecure.
Facts.
Because that is the unlock. That's the unlock, bro.
I'm already feeling that with this podcasting thing, man, because me, I mean, straight from the heart, I don't like recording myself.
Okay.
I don't like hearing my voice.
Yeah.
I feel so awkward. Like,
Okay.
what the fuck? I sound like this? Like,
Okay. So
oh
let
my
me
God.
ask you then why? Why do you do it?
Why do I do it, or why do I...
Why do you do a podcast?
Oh, dude, honestly, because I feel like I can bring some value to the world, and when I needed it,
Yeah.
podcasts were there for me,
100%.
and they changed my life.
Yeah.
And if I could even reach out to fucking one person out there, and I hate to say change his life, but yeah, change his or her life.
Yep.
Dude, I did my job, and I'm eating.
100%,
I'm happy,
bro.
That's like that kind of drives
And
me to
you
do
said
this.
the key word, which is value. Is value. I meet people all the time. They go, hey, like, I'm trying to get my Instagram to be, certain colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like, I don't like how like my glasses look on video and like all this shit. And I'm like, no single person is gonna watch your video and go, don't like her glasses. Like next, no. if you're providing value, no one gives a fuck.
Exactly.
No one gives a fuck.
Exactly.
Like, watch Gary Vee. He'll be in like an alley, like doing a quick clip. Nobody gives a fuck. It's about value. If you're providing value, it doesn't matter. And all these little quirks that people get stressed out about is what makes you unique, bro.
Yep.
I've had people tell me I sound like I have a lisp, you know, and that could have affected me to the point where I didn't want to talk anymore on camera.
Right.
But that's just part of who I am, man. And if I can know that and still overcome it and still me telling someone that to somebody who may have a lisp down the road could actually be the unlock for them.
It could, man. And like, who's to say that person with or without a lisp can't deliver like 50,000 times the value?
Yeah, who the fuck cares about your lisp?
Who does give a fuck?
No one gives a fuck.
And that's the thing you gotta hack. You just gotta hack that. And like,
and that's
I've had friends tell me, it's like, when I started, you know, I started off on my phone just recording voice memos, just talking in the car or something, and I was like, delete, like, didn't like that. And then like a friend of mine tells me like, why? What was wrong with it?
Facts.
It's just you were just talking.
100%.
And someone could have fucking enjoyed that, so why'd you delete that?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you get in your own head about dumb bullshit.
100%.
It's like your own little demons telling you, fuck, man.
That's it.
You're not enough. You're not this. You're not polished. You don't have a haircut. You weren't fresh enough for this. You didn't buy the nicest clothes. Your car's whack. It's all these like little negative things 100%. That you kind of tell yourself, and it's all bullshit.
But you know what's facts too is no one who's successful will put you down like that.
No.
Because they're secure.
Yeah, man.
Like,
it
really comes down to insecurity, man. The only reason people put you down is because there's something in them that like makes them feel better about themselves when they do that.
Yeah, man.
And that is insecurity in itself. And
that's some deep-rooted shit, too.
The most beautiful shit that you're up to too is that you've started. The starting is the hardest part.
Facts.
From now on, it becomes a rolling momentum. All of a sudden, you start getting messages. All of a sudden, the likes, you're just more passionate about it. A sponsor comes in. Like, getting started is the hardest part.
It is, man.
Now you start to realize it's not that hard.
For sure,
it's
man.
Just putting in the work.
It's not that deep. Sorry, I had to, man. No.
Follow right now, greatest podcast in the world.
No, but man, like what you're saying is so true. Just getting started is so tough.
Yeah.
And you know, it didn't happen like overnight. It's over a year I've been talking about it. I've been a wantrepreneur for so long. I've been wanting to do it, been telling people, might start a podcast, might do this thing. And like, you know, I knew I wanted to do it, but you listen to those voices enough, but then, you know, you just had to take that plunge, man. A lot of people, I want everyone to start a podcast who wants to. Like, that's the thing I love about this platform as well. Is like, it's not a zero-sum game. Literally, like, we all have a voice, we all have a story, we all have something we could talk about. Like, just fucking do it. And don't worry about all those likes, the followers, all that shit. Obviously, you need to grow and you want people to hear your shit, but don't focus on that. Just go out. Let's say you fucking like screamo music. I don't know. Let's say you like video games. Let's say you like, I don't know what you like.
Yeah.
Just go talk about it. Anyone could start a podcast today. You don't need a fancy setup. You don't need to invest a lot into equipment. Just start with something.
100%.
And go from there. I'm not that proud of the first thing that I put out.
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
There was no lighting. I felt like I was awkward and stiff. I felt like, you know, some of my questions were whack. But you know what, man? Now that I think about it, I do like that I did it, because that was important. That was something that I had to get over, you know?
That's it, bro. And if I don't know what your vision is, but if you're in this for the long run,
fuck yeah.
You know, who cares about one podcast out of 1,000?
Exactly. No, then and I'm inspired by some of the bigger podcasts that I've seen, and I see them now in like episode 2000. Like, do you realize like how ridiculous that is? Like, 100%. Podcasting hasn't even been around for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, I think they used to call it audio blogging. I think I was reading the history about it, and like
well, I don't know if you remember this, but the iPhone always had like a podcast thing.
Yeah, since like 2004.
And like, I never
Or
knew
2000
what it was.
2012, sorry.
Right? I never knew what the hell it was for so many years. Now I'm sure pretty much everyone was in the same boat.
Yeah.
So it's weird how it's been there, but it took a long time for users to adopt it.
Right.
And now it's getting to scale, and that's why we're in a great opportunity if you start now, because people are still hopping on.
Right. I still talk to people who's like, pod what? But
exactly.
A majority of people, it's not only is that app probably one of the most used ones on their phone, it's a part of their fucking day, man. You're driving to work.
Yep.
You don't want to listen to music anymore. Yeah. You're going to learn something.
Dude,
you might
every single morning. It's funny. People say, "Do you have a morning routine?" And I would have said I don't, but I've gotten into one without realizing it.
Yeah.
And every morning I wake up, I brush my teeth, and I get in the car and I drive to Starbucks and I get a coffee.
Yeah.
And I listen to Gary Vee.
Dude, dope.
And that like 10 to 15 minutes gets me in the mindset, because as soon as I get in my house, I'm on email going.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
And he's got that ability of waking something up in you that you feel like, man, I'm overthinking it. I just gotta go. 100%. I just gotta, like, he's so good at just like hacking whatever. And what I love about his whole thing is like it can apply to anyone and what they're doing right now. It's like he'll be at a fucking like keynote conference and someone will be like, yeah, I quit my job. I wanted to start entrepreneurship, this and that, and everyone was putting me down, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And he's like, stop listening to him. Fucking drops mic. He has so many like drops mic moments. Like,
100%.
But it's really that simple sometimes,
It is.
I fucking love it, man.
It's all in people's heads.
Yeah, man.
And if you really listen to Gary, there's about like 10 to 13 things that he says, and that's all he says.
Yeah. I've realized that.
He just rephrases it a different way.
Yep.
And a lot of people be like, oh, that's annoying. He just says 13 things. But it's like, no, that's beautiful. Because this is the truth.
Yeah.
If you can answer every question with one of 13 answers, it means that's it.
That's it.
That's the unlock, you know? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast on Joe Rogan's podcast. It was a guy named Naval. I forgot how to pronounce his last name. And he was talking about reading books. And he was saying that, a lot of people want to put out there that, I read this book to completion. I'm reading all these books, like quantity, books. Yeah. He's like, man, I don't even like read full books if I'm just not really that interested in a topic. And he had this powerful quote. It was like, I would rather completely understand the principles of like the top 10 best books ever than read thousands of books and take little tidbits from it. So, and that's just that, right? The fundamentals. Mm-hmm. Just sticking to the basics, the principles, and understanding that so well that you apply that to your own life.
That's it. Because I can't, like, I can read, but I don't read books. I just can't sit there and read.
Yeah.
It's
hard to focus.
It's just like it takes too long. Like for me, not forever. This is just me. But it takes so long to get the fucking like gist of it.
Yeah.
I would just rather listen to a video or audio while I'm working.
Right.
Multitasking. And what happens with me is like, sure, it'll kind of blend off into the background. But when something like really powerful is said, I'll snap out and I'll focus for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Do you like rewind and like?
I rewind all the time.
Okay, yeah.
Because sometimes it'll be mid-point.
Right.
That it'll be like, oh, whoa. Or a lot of the times I'll be hearing something and I'll think of a client that it applies to. I'll rewind to where it starts. I'll send them the podcast, send them the timestamp, say, hey, I just want you to listen to this. I thought it could apply to you.
Dope.
And that's a way of like...
Do you take notes? Physical notes of this? Or you just...
Because I used to, but I never go back and read them.
That's tough, yeah.
Like, unless you're doing it because you think that makes you retain knowledge better, sure. But I just listen to Gary so much that... I've heard him say the same thing 10 times and then I remember it.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
powerful.
If I'm not talking to a human, I have Gary in my ear.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Didn't know it's like that.
Oh, dude, 100%.
For me, I'm a little different.
Yeah.
I need to write.
Okay.
That's how I retain... I don't know, that's how I retain information. But you're right, I might not even go back to it. But the fact that I wrote it down is huge for me. It's something like I kind of need to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a little more jumbled when it comes to writing something on the computer. Because then I just want to put everything out there, and I'm not concise enough. But physical, like writing something down, for me, it's important. It's something I need to do. And coming back to your book thing, I do enjoy reading, but I have to be in complete, like, nothing else can be going on. It has to be like absolutely, like, I'm on vacation or I'm about to sleep. Like I'll read right before I go to bed. It literally just I fall asleep.
And that's it. I think all that it is, all these different things we're talking about, it's just a process of learning. Yeah. And everyone learns differently, right? So it's not that books are bad, it's not the videos are bad, it's not the audio is bad, good, whatever. It's all self-awareness.
It's having that self-awareness to know that, hey, this works for me. Yeah. I'm never gonna sit here even on my own podcast and preach one thing that's just gonna apply to everyone. Yeah. Because that's just, I'm not a snake oil salesman. There is nothing, like, one thing that fucking applies to everybody. You have to have that self-awareness.
I think there are, though.
Okay. I want to hear it.
Self-awareness, Okay.
Right?
That applies to everyone.
I was talking a little more like actual practical, like, if you want to lose weight, cut out bread.
No, there's nothing. Because it all stems from self-awareness.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's a variable.
Okay.
Everything
I
has to go through the self-awareness, bottleneck. Yeah. Right. But I think there are principles that apply to everyone, right? Like insecurity. Get rid of that. Period. Okay. There's no benefit to it.
But can you ever completely get rid of it, or do you acknowledge its existence?
Exactly.
And live with it.
Yeah, for me, sometimes I'll feel it because it's a feeling, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't just erase a feeling, right? If you're a human, you have emotions. Correct. But what I do is I recognize it. Right. And I go, ooh, that's me feeling insecure. Yeah. Let's attack it.
I love that, man. Yeah. I started meditating pretty recently. It's only been a couple months. And a powerful thing that I've been able to apply to my life in terms of mindfulness and self-awareness is taking a step out of your own, I don't want to say body, but just like look at yourself from the third person. Yeah. And don't be like, I'm mad. Be like, I am experiencing anger. Mm-hmm. You're not sad right now. You are not sad. You cannot be sad. You are experiencing that emotion.
Amazing. Yeah.
Which to me, like, really rewired how I go about my whole day. Yeah. All my interactions. Like, because you're not going to just stop feeling those feelings. We're fucking humans. Yep. Emotions are a part of us. Right. But they don't have to be us. Right. You don't have to identify with that, whatever that is.
Fascinating. It's almost like understanding what they are.
Exactly.
Helps you, deal with them.
It's big, man. Yeah. Let's go back to books for a quick second.
Yeah.
Do you listen to audiobooks? Have you ever experimented with that?
Maybe for like 30 minutes. And then
okay.
stop.
Still same thing? Like, it's too much?
Like, what
you got to be too focused?
The thing about a book is I feel like people stretch it out. Like, when I listen to Gary, it's like an hour-long keynote, and he goes through 7 things. Right. When I listen to an audiobook, it's like 4 stories to prove a point. I'm like, just give me the point. Like, that's me. That's just me.
I appreciate this perspective a lot, man. Yeah. No, that's everyone's a little different in that, but no, that, like, you don't have to necessarily. People think that because you read books, you're somehow smarter or like
doesn't make any sense.
Absolute bullshit. Me, I knew nothing about just YouTube. I knew nothing about audio, podcasting, video, lighting, none of it. Yeah. Editing, it's all completely foreign to me. My knowledge is straight up like grade 10, one broadcasting class that I fucked off in. Like YouTube, I literally, any problem I have, how to X. Yeah. What should I use for Y? Yeah. What hardware should I buy? What software should I use? How to use such software? And you watch these 20-minute clips that literally tell you what you need to know. Yeah. And I'm like, feeling like.
You know what the best part is though, bro? Is you still don't know.
No, I don't know shit.
All that does is gets you started.
Exactly.
Because what needs to be accompanied with learning is execution.
Right.
Doing this, this is how you're going to learn.
That's very true, man. You can read all the books you fucking want, man, about podcasting. You're not going to be
read about doing push-ups, bro.
I love that quote.
You can't read about doing push-ups. And that's the exact same thing as like even with marketing, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest challenges in getting into what I do is you actually can't learn without someone giving you a budget to learn with. And that's the last thing people want to do.
No, it's true.
Give you money to learn.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's a barrier to entry. And like you could read about Facebook ads all day, but until you've done it and kind of been punched in the face and been like, oh fuck, like what do I do now? What do I do now? What do I do now? Like you don't learn. And that's why like I'm pretty good at what I do because I've spent tons and learned tons.
Yeah.
You know?
And what you've done now is you've applied what you've learned and the execution and started your own business.
Yep.
Cashion Marketing.
Cashion, yep.
Yeah. Cashion, that's how I pronounce it?
It's like fashion, but with a C. Yeah.
Cashion Marketing. So walk me through the business a bit, man, without giving away too much detail. Walk me through the whole process.
I'll tell you exactly what I do.
All right.
It's very basic, and it's interesting that I never read this. I just made sense of it in my head, and then this is kind of how I approach clients. I go, okay, tell me about your business, obviously. Tell me how it functions, how you make money, whatever. Like, tell me the basic about your business. Tell me what your goals are, right? Because that's what we want to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your business and what are your goals? Okay.
Yeah.
And then in the middle, who are your audience groups or group, depending on the business. Could be multiple, could be one.
Okay.
And tell me your value propositions of your business. And I'll give you an example of what that means. I was working with a personal trainer, right? And when you talk to a personal trainer, you ask them, what's your value propositions? And instantly they go, oh, like I can help you lose weight. I can help you get stronger, right? Like that's kind of the realm of what they're talking about. And I'm like, that's very basic.
Surface
you
level.
have a lot more value than that, okay? Mm-hmm. You have, like, the one I was specifically talking to had all this stuff. He had flexible schedule, right? You could book him whenever you wanted. He gives you supplementation information, nutritional information. His gym's clean top to bottom every single day. He
has a gym.
Yeah, he has a gym. No membership fee.
Right.
He can do the whole like stretching you out type of stuff as well. He's certified in that. So it's a lot more than just, oh yeah, I get you in shape.
Yeah.
Right? So what I do is I go, okay, if your goal is to say get more clients, right? Who are these clients? Like your audience groups, like we said. And then, okay, what are your value propositions? And then we look at the audience, we look at the value propositions, and we create content that communicates the value propositions to the audience.
Facts.
And then you give it to me, and I run it to the group.
Right.
And I send them to a website, send them to your Facebook page, send them to call you, email you, whatever you want. And then we run a bunch of pieces of content, and whichever ones are doing what you want for the cheapest cost, that's what we focus on.
Okay.
We move the budget.
You say we. Are you working with a team? Do you have like people?
I just mean
working?
me and the client. Like
okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I thought for a second.
So I do all the advertising stuff like that.
Yeah.
What I don't do is website stuff. I don't go in the back end and fix websites.
Right.
And I don't create videos and pictures. So I outsource those.
You can outsource those things pretty easily because a lot of people, more people can do that.
100%. Yeah.
Less people have the value proposition that you would provide.
And a lot of the people that do are agencies, and they have a lot more overhead than I do, so they have to.
And they're going to charge a fuck ton more.
Yeah. And it makes sense. They have a bigger team, whatever. So I have a nice little niche of client where they can't afford an agency, but they can't afford a human.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a great spot to start with. And you've more than started, man. I think you're doing pretty fucking well with it. How many clients have you had in the past year alone? If you know, roughly.
Well, I've monthly recurring. I have 5.
Nice.
Currently. I'm trying to get up to 7.
Nice.
And then I've done probably 6 or 7 projects. So hopefully we'll do 6 or 7 more in the next 6 months. So
sweet, man.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you,
like
brother.
your work ethic and your hustle like really inspires me.
Yeah.
It's actually like genuinely inspires me. It gets me like that. I see that shit and I'm like, dude, I need to do more. I gotta work harder.
Yeah.
You know? And that's not to say that like I'm comparing. I'm just saying it brings me up with you.
Yeah, just be happy.
For sure.
Me, like,
love it.
I look like I'm working so hard, but dude, I'm so fucking happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even thought about this. I've never actually said it out loud,
mm-hmm.
but a lot of the times, like, you'll see me and I might not be smiling and laughing and cheering, but internally, oh, I'm so happy.
It's fucking
I'm
powerful.
like like a pro athlete when he gets off the field. You know, he's exhausted and he's put it all out, but internally he's living a dream.
Yup.
You know, he might not be crazy and excited because he's like exhausted. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
But internally, oh my God, there's nothing
That's
else I'd rather
some powerful shit, man. You don't have to be all smiley and jumpy to be internally calm and happy. Like that calm feeling that you're describing is happiness.
That's it. I met a girl the other day that I was friends with a long time ago, and she kind of told me after, she was like, hey, after she met me recently, she was like, I always remembered you so much more like peppy and energetic and all this shit. And in my head, I was like, fuck, like to the outside, this is what got me thinking like this. To the outside, it looks like I'm much more calm and this, but I'm just like kind of exhausted, kind of tired, but in the best way possible.
Right.
Like doing something that I love.
It's because you have a mission, you have a purpose.
That's it, bro.
And a lot of people, I find, don't have a mission and a purpose, and it doesn't have to be a clear vision. I think there's no clear fucking path or answer.
You're right.
You gotta fuck up and like try shit.
Pivot.
Humans are so multi-dimensional. We're not. I don't know. This is generally what I believe. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but
so
I don't think we're meant to do just one thing. We're so much more than just one.
Let me put something in your head. The way I think about it is you have an idea of what you want to do right now. And just to digress on that, I think a lot of people that don't spend the time to figure it out.
Right.
I sit down in my room for hours sometimes and I just think, okay, what do I want to do? Why do I want to do it?
Yeah.
Like, and really try to craft that vision. I spend time doing it. A lot of people just don't spend that time.
No, and they use that time. They use that time doing things that aren't thinking.
For sure. Yeah.
Sorry.
And then what I think is like, it's important to say, okay, this is my vision, this is my goal, but understand that as you then go down that path, you have experiences.
Facts.
You have experiences, and that's going to change your vision.
Right.
It's so okay to change.
Yeah.
I've gone through, being good at soccer, then being good at skateboarding, and then doing the music thing, and then economics, and now business, and like those are all completely different things.
And who's to say what you're doing right now is
It's not.
It's building up to other things and other opportunities. Other doors may open, other doors will close.
That's it.
Maybe you fucking wake up next year like, you know what? I don't want any more clients. Fuck this. I'm pivoting. I'm doing something else. Like, it's very well a possibility, and it could lead to something better.
Man. Like life, maybe your friend gets sick, and all of a sudden you want to dedicate your life to solving that.
Yep.
Like life happens.
Very true, man. Coming back to your business, I want to ask, what's your relationship with your clients after you're formally done what you set out to do?
What's my relation? It's all client to client. Some of them have become friends. We go out for a drink, check in, ask how the business is going, stuff like that. Other ones we just part ways because the job was done, and that's just how it goes. But I'm the type of person, I actually try to make a genuine relationship with people. I was literally I was at the gym yesterday and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, especially this one client, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, what I need to do is I want to figure out when their anniversary is, and I'm gonna send them flowers.
Nice.
They're not gonna see that shit coming.
Right.
Because I'm not even really like a company. Like, I'm one human.
Yeah.
I doubt the other companies that they work with are gonna send them flowers on their anniversary, let alone just a one-man show. So I think that will really build that relationship.
Wow, man. That's fucking that's like the best answer to the question ever. Because that's going above and beyond, man.
Dude, when people genuinely like you, they want to help you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another story. So I was talking to one of my old managers, right? And he had just got a job promotion, and now he had to present to the executive team.
Okay.
And he was telling me, he's like, man, I'm nervous. Like, this is a big one for me, right? And I was like, this is what you need to do, because this is what I did to you when I worked for you.
All right.
I was like, this is what you need to do. You need to contact, like, say there's 9 people on the exec team, contact like the 3 you feel closest to, or the 3 you feel like you can open up to, or whatever, right? And I want you to say, hey, I know we have the big meeting coming up next week. I've kind of made my slides. I've kind of made my presentation. I was wondering if I could like have an hour with you and kind of just go over it. You let me know if this is what you're expecting, if this is what you want, da-da-da-da-da. It's my first one, so like it would really mean a lot if you could just help me. And these people will 100% be like, of course, like, yeah, come in, show me. Let's do this. And what you do is then you start showing them it and you start asking them questions. They'll start being like, okay, yeah, cut down this, focus more on this, you know, less, whatever. They'll start giving you tips. But as you open up and become vulnerable to them, they're going to see themselves in you. And all of a sudden, not only have they helped craft your presentation that they're judging, but they're going to want you to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you go into that meeting, you already have 3 people who've helped you build this, who are judging you, who are going to help sway the rest of the group.
Now they got skin in the game.
And they feel like they're part of your story.
Yeah.
They want you to win.
Facts. That's powerful shit, dude.
Yeah.
I really like that, actually.
That's a good one.
And I really like, because practically speaking, the hardest part about that whole thing was the message to them.
It's not hard.
That was the hardest part. No, because a lot of people probably wouldn't even think that, oh, why would I message them? They're going to think I'm incompetent. You didn't, back to just overthinking things to yourself.
Incompetent? No, that's actually the most competent thing to say. Look, this is something new to me.
Yeah.
I would love your feedback because I'm trying to become the best.
Right.
That's impressive.
I like that.
It's
I like
all perspective,
that a lot.
right?
It is all perspective, man. You could look at it both ways. I had another question for you about with a career like this, you know, it's not, you don't really have like a molded path that you're following or trying to emulate per se.
Yeah.
And this isn't like a question really necessarily about that, but you're kind of always at work.
Yeah.
In your head. When do you turn it off?
Whenever I want.
Whenever you want.
Yep. But I just have to A, be disciplined to turn it on, right? And B, understand that when it's off, I'm taking a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a trade-off of...
No, because if a client calls me and my phone's off, that's a risk.
Yeah.
But the first thing is I don't judge myself. If I was to lose a client because of that, and I consciously made that decision, I'm not going to judge myself. You know, that's life. Sometimes I'm going to go play golf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's life.
Yeah.
But what I do try to do is when I'm on, over-deliver. So if that was to happen, say there was an emergency, a client called me, I didn't pick up, whatever, I've over-delivered in the past. So it almost brings us back to even.
It makes up
instead of going from even to negative. So what I try to do is every 3 days, I try to have some sort of contact with my client. Even if it's just to say, hey, how are things going? Campaign's running great. Just wanted to check in. Just so they know I'm thinking about them.
Yeah.
You know, especially when I'm not a company and have a team around me.
Yeah.
So that they know, like they see me on my stories, like doing something like this in the middle of the day. But they know like, oh, he just checked in on me. He just tried to call me. Like,
right.
They know that I'm really trying and putting in a hard effort. So that if something was to go wrong, it wouldn't be like another strike. It'd be like the first strike.
I really like that perspective.
And they're humans, bro. So when I say, hey, look, I took the Saturday off to golf with my dad.
Yeah.
They're not going to judge me. It's a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't be working in theory.
Yeah. Man, I love it, man. I love it. You know what? Honestly, I feel like we could be going on for hours like this.
Yeah.
It's really easy talking to you, and that's why I'm really happy to have you on the podcast. But I do have to wrap it up.
Yep.
Before we go, I want to do a lightning round with you. This is something new that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're pretty familiar with it. It's a pretty common thing. But I'm just going to ask you 5 questions. First thing that comes to your head.
Like one worders, or I can answer it?
You can answer it.
Okay.
Yeah, but we won't have a discussion
Come
about
on,
it.
I'm fired up. Let's go.
All right, man. What's one item or service you splurge on that you feel super guilty about?
Food.
What's one item or service you splurge on that you feel no guilt about?
Golf.
You're faster than me, fuck. One brand you never see yourself cheating on.
Brand? Ooh. The truth is, I don't give a fuck about brands at all.
Okay.
But
maybe not one brand, one particular product that like iPhone. Okay. Your go-to takeout order late night in Ottawa.
McDonald's. It's bad. It's real bad. It gets
We've all been there, dog. Do you believe in determinism or free will?
Explain.
Do you believe in we all are in complete control of our destiny, or everything's been written?
No, I'm in control.
You're in control?
Nothing will stop me.
Awesome, man. I think I maybe shouldn't have put such a deep question at the end of the podcast, but just remember it's not that deep.
That's right.
Thanks a lot, brother. I really appreciate
my
it, dude.
man. That was good.
That was really fun, man.
Cheers.
Cheers. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. If you like this kind of content, please hit subscribe, comment deep below, and hit my line. Let's open up a dialogue. And remember, it's not that deep.